All right, Shalom. Before I get started, I want to say Call Halayim La Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who taught me this truth, and double salutation to all you Akim out there laboring. The house of David is pushing his word with all truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Shalom. All right, so I'm back at you with another quick lesson through the Spirit. All right, and I was watching this video by Elder Malcolm in the GMS Chicago camp. He did an excellent lesson going into Apocryphal truth exposed. All right, and he was pretty much going into the fact of how these Edomites are the devils and liars that they are, man. Okay, and they don't want to acknowledge that the Apocrypha is part of biblical history, man. The Apocrypha is canon, man. All right, and the scriptures, all right, and what's written in the Apocrypha, they jive together. All right, so I wanted to just, add my 2 cents in a quick response, because there's a story in the Apocrypha called The History and the Destruction of Bel and the Dragon. All right, and in that story, all right, you find out that Daniel, when he was cast into the lion's den, he was fed by the prophet Habakkuk, man. Okay, so before I get into the story, I wanted to set it up with the book of Daniel, chapter 6, going into the fact of how Daniel was cast into the lion's den. Okay, so this is Daniel's chapter 6, verse 1, and it reads, "It pleased Darius to set over the kingdom 120 princes, which should be over the whole kingdom. And over these 3 presidents, of whom Daniel was first." All right, so we understand that Daniel was a president under King Darius. Okay, it says over and over these 3 presidents, of whom Daniel was the first, that the 3 princes might give account unto them, that the king should have no damage. Then this Daniel was preferred above the presidents and princes, because an excellent spirit was in him, and the king thought to set him over the whole realm. Verse 4. Then the presidents and the princes sought to find occasion against Daniel concerning the kingdom, but they could not find none occasion nor fault, for as much as he was faithful, neither was there any error or fault found in him. And it's the same thing that's going on with the men of the Lord today, man. All right, you have these people that are trying to find some type of fault, all right, some type of accusation to pin against us, man. Okay, but the elect are going to be found blameless. All right, verse 5. Then said these men, "We shall not find any occasion against this Daniel, except we find it against him concerning the law of his God." Verse 6. Then the presidents and the princes assembled together to the king, and said unto him, "King Darius live forever." Verse 7. All the presidents of the kingdom, the governors and the princes, the counselors and the captains, have consulted together to establish a royal statute, and to make a firm decree, that whosoever shall ask a petition of any god or man for 30 days, save of thee, O king, he shall be cast into the den of lions. Okay, so there was a decree or a covenant that was set up that no man, okay, could worship God or any man except the king. You see, verse 7 or verse 8. Now, O king, establish the decree and sign the writing, that it be not changed according to the law of the Medes and Persians, which altereth not. Wherefore the King Darius signed the writing and decree. So King Darius, he pretty much sealed it, that the decree was that no man pretty much would be able to worship his God or any other man except the King Darius. All right, verse 10. Now when Daniel knew that this writing was signed, he went into his house, and his windows being open in his chamber toward Jerusalem, he kneeled upon his knees 3 times a day, and prayed and gave thanks before his God, as he did aforetime. Then these men assembled and found Daniel praying and making supplication before his God. All right, so these men pretty much were spying out on Daniel, and they saw him praying to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right, verse 12. Then they came near and spake before the king concerning the king's decree. Hast thou not signed a decree, that every man that shall ask a petition or any god or man within 30 days, save of thee, O king, shall be cast into the den of lions? The king answered and said, The thing is true according to the law of the Medes and Persians, which altereth not. Okay, so pretty much these same men that didn't like Daniel, they spied him out and they went back And they pretty much told on him that he was praying to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, even though the decree had been signed by King Darius to not do so. All right. Verse 13. Then answered they and said before the king that Daniel, which is of the children of the captivity of Judah, regardeth not thee, O king, nor the decree that thou hast signed, but maketh his petition 3 times a day. All right. So here it is. They're telling on him. All right. Verse 14. Then the king, when he heard these words, was sore displeased with himself, and set his heart on Daniel to deliver him. And he labored till the going down of the sun to deliver him. Then these men assembled unto the king and said unto the Then these men assembled unto the king and said unto the king, Now, O king, that the law of the Medes and Persians is that no decree nor statute which the king established may be changed. Then the king commanded, and they brought Daniel and cast him into the den of lions. Now the king spake and said unto Daniel, Thy power, whom thou servest continually, he will deliver thee. You see, so now we just read that Daniel was cast into the lion's den. All right, so let's grab go into the Apocrypha here. All right, this is in the Apocrypha, the book of the Bel and the Dragon. All right, if you have the Apocrypha, it's page 111. All right, but just getting straight to the point. Okay, because when you read the chapter, it gives it pretty much goes in on how, you know, they were worshiping this idol called Bel. It was actually like a dragon. All right, and they were feeding this dragon with food, and they thought that this dragon was a living power, but only to find out that the king was being deceived, because when they laid food for the dragon to eat at night, the priest and his wives and children would come in and eat the food to give the illusion that the dragon ate the food, man. So long story short, when you read this story, Daniel pretty much exposed them, and by putting ashes on the floor, and he showed the king the footprints when the priests and their wives and children would come in at night and eat the food, and those priests and wives and children were put to death, man, for deceiving the king, you know. But you know, just getting straight to the point about Daniel being cast into the lion's den. All right, so this is Bel the dragon, and I'm gonna start at verse 25 here. It says, Then said Daniel unto the king, I will worship the Lord my power, for he is the living power. But give me leave, O king, and I shall slay this dragon without sword or staff. The king said, I will give thee leave. Okay. Then Daniel took pitch and fat and hair and did seethe them together and made lumps thereof. This he put in the dragon's mouth, so that the dragon burst asunder. And Daniel said, Lo, these are the gods you worship. And when they of Babylon heard that, they took great indignation, and it conspired against the king, saying, The king has become a Jew, and he has destroyed Bel, and have slain the dragon, and put the priest to death. So when they came to the king and said, Deliver us, Daniel, or else we will destroy thee in thy house. Now when the king saw that they pressed him sore, being constrained, he delivered Daniel unto them, who cast him into the lion's den, where he was 6 days. And in the den there were 7 lions, and they had given them every day 2 carcasses, 2 sheep, which then were not given to them, to the intent that they might devour Daniel. All right, so they starved the lions, so that these lions could eat Daniel in the lion's den. Verse 33, the point. Now there was in Juri a prophet called Habakkuk, who had made pottage and had broken bread in a bowl, and was going into the field for to bring it to the reapers. But the angel of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai said unto Habakkuk, Go carry the dinner that thou hast into Babylon unto Daniel, who is in the lion's den. And Habakkuk said, Lord, I never saw Babylon, neither do I know where the den is. Then the angel of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, took him by the crown, and bare him by the hair of his head, and through the vehemency of his spirit set him in Babylon over the den. So you got to imagine the angel of the Lord came to Habakkuk and pretty much what's the word I'm looking for? Translated him into to Daniel, man, in the lion's den. So he took him where he was at that particular time and teleported him to Daniel, man. You know, if you could receive that through the Spirit, let's read that again. This is Bel the dragon, and verse 36. And the angel of Yahweh Shem Yahushua took him by the crown and bare him by the hair of his head, and through the vehemency of his spirit set him in Babylon over the den. All right, I'm gonna look up this word vehemency. Let me see what this says. Salakia, pull this up real quick. I'm just curious. All right, this word vehemency. All right, Salakia, bear with me. Vehemency. All right, vehemence. Okay, it says display strong feeling, passion, vehemently, intense manner. Yeah, but pretty much, man. All right, he was teleported to Daniel in the lion's den. Okay, verse 37. And Habakkuk cried, saying, "O Daniel, Daniel, take the dinner which Yahweh Shem Yahushua have sent thee." And Daniel said, that thou hast remembered me, O power, neither hast thou forsaken them that seek thee and love thee. So Daniel arose and did eat, and the angel of Yahweh Shem Yahushua set Habakkuk in his own place again immediately. All right, so the angel of the Lord took Habakkuk with his dinner to feed Daniel, and then after he did that, the angel of the Lord translated him back to where he was, man. Okay, verse 40. Upon the 7th day, the king went to bewail Daniel, and when he came to the den, he looked in, and behold, Daniel was sitting. Then cried the king with a loud voice, saying, Great art Lord God of Daniel, and there is none else beside thee. And he drew him out and cast those that were the cause of his destruction into the den, and they were devoured in a moment before his face. All right, which is the point, man. So this is written in the Apocrypha, man, that Daniel was fed in the lion's den. And a lot of people may not have known that, man, you know. So I just wanted to bring that out, you know, just as far as the Apocrypha tying in with the scriptures, you know. Lord willing, that lesson was edifying. And we give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahushua, and double honors to my elders and apostles who taught me this truth. And double salutation to all you Akim out there laboring in the house of David. Shalom.